94.9 KUOW Seattle. I'm Amanda Wilde. For Norma Miller, music and dance were part of the very air she breathed in Harlem of the 1930s. In 1935, she won a Lindy Hop championship at the Harvest Moon Ball, the first major dance contest held in America. After that, there was no looking back. Over the next 7 decades, she developed her expertise as a dancer, choreographer, comedian, author, and songwriter. During her career, she's mingled with Thurgood Marshall, toured with Duke Ellington, opened for Sammy Davis Jr., was publicly serenaded by Satchmo, and choreographed scenes for Spike Lee's Malcolm X. Norma Miller is dedicated to entertaining and to inspiring people to dance. She visits Seattle annually to teach and perform at the Century Ballroom's Master Series, and she's graciously taken time to stop by the KUOW studios. Norma Miller, welcome. It's good to have you here.
Hey, thank you for inviting me.
You grew up in Harlem, and the whole neighborhood was just rich with music and dance.
Oh, yeah.
At the very center of that was the Savoy Ballroom.
Yeah, well, see, it was the Renaissance. Remember, if they could walk, ride, or run, they came to Harlem. Harlem was the most famous place in the world. It was because of segregation made it such a magnet, because it was the one place black people could come from all around the world, but they could come to Harlem, and they feel they had that freedom. And that was the Harlem that I was exposed to. And I used to go and follow all the rehearsals, and I used to sit in all the rehearsals, and everywhere I heard music, I could go in and listen, watch. And that's how I sort of just by osmosis captured what was really the heart of Harlem.
How did you first enter the Savoy?
I was a kid on an Easter Sunday, and I ran up to the Savoy Ballroom just to stand outside to watch the people who was dressed up going into the Savoy Ballroom. And the main person there who called me, and I remember him saying, "Hey, kid." And I turned around, and I recognized him immediately because he was all dressed in white, typically what they call bling-bling today, the white hat, the white vest, the white suit, the white chain, the white shoes. And it was the great Twist Mouth George asking me to come to the ballroom to dance with him when I was 12 years old.
Now, he was a champion
he
himself.
He was the creator of the dance. He was the dancer of that day. That's what everybody knew him as. And I was able to dance with him because in those days I was precocious. I could dance with anybody.
And so that's how you got into the Savoy.
That's the first time he took me into the Savoy Ballroom, yeah.
What were your impressions? Do you remember?
I loved it. I mean, see, in those days, you had no air conditioning. You stand outside, you could hear the music. It was the music that I heard and loved and used to out dance in the street. And here was this great dancer asked me to come and dance with him. And I could dance with him. And because in those days, I could do anything any grown-up did. If I saw them do a step, I could do it.
And you picked it up, as you said, by osmosis?
That's the way I danced, yeah. That's how I met Leonard Reed. I mean, he had the best dance chorus, and I used to follow them around the street into their rehearsal halls and stand outside and watch. But that's how you had to learn to dance in my day. Remember, where would I learn to dance? There may be some dancing schools, but to be a professional dancer, there was no way. You had to be part of it, and that's how I became part of it.
And it turned into a professional career.
It became well, because of Whitey, we became a professional dance act.
Now that's Whitey's Lindy Hoppers.
That's Whitey's Lindy. That was the beginning of it because Ethel Waters named us. We was with her on her show, and she called us Whitey's Lindy Hoppers.
And you were the opening act?
We were the opening act. Always the opening act. That's why they wanted. Every major star in those days wouldn't go on a show, wouldn't do a show without having Lindy Hoppers to open the show for them. Bill Robinson, Ethel Waters, the Cotton Club, Swingin' a Dream. That's how I met Louis Armstrong. And Swingin' a Dream, Midsummer Night's Dream. In those days, they tried to swing all the classics. They swung the Mikado. That was Bill Robinson. Who was the major dance act in that? Whitey's Lindy Hoppers.
You saw a lot of live performances, obviously. What did the music do in regards to informing your sense of dance?
Well, it made us be accepted. You see, it's wonderful. You never think of what the crisis in as a person is, but when you're accepted, and it was through our art that we were accepted. So that was the beginning. So it was the art and the music. Louis Armstrong opened the door to the world.
Now, what do you think it was about him? People latched onto his personality.
He had the kind of he wasn't threatened by him. You understand? It's when a person is threatened. That's always the case with why you have the racial divide in this country today. Louis Armstrong could walk amongst kings. or walk with the lowest of the low. It didn't matter. He treated each the same way. He had this marvelous personality. I was just in Italy in December. Who's the most famous name in Italy? Louis Armstrong.
Still.
Today. I was just in New Orleans last week to the jazz. I attend the jazz camp every year. The most phenomenal thing is going on. You can't believe this. We had 101 students studying jazz, Louis Armstrong's jazz. And not only that, here was kids we had them from 10 years old to about 15 or 16. But they were playing Basie's April in Paris, just like Basie. I sat there on the bandstand and I couldn't believe this. And there was a group of singers that did Duke Ellington's Take the A Train, just like Betty Rocher recorded it. These kids are repeating everything we did, just the way we did it. And that's the most wonderful feeling in the world. And I told them, I said, sweetie, you don't have to worry about jazz in America. It's alive.
Now, interestingly, you were on the cutting edge of all of this swing music and swing dance coming to be before it even had a name. And now you're talking about how it's sort of come around again.
Because jazz continually changed. Like all kids today, it's Coltrane. I mean, he's not my favorite, but it's somebody. I don't like Coltrane, but see, I like Coleman Hawkins.
Well, Coltrane's not as danceable, right?
Exactly. See, and that's what put us out of business, Charlie Parker. Put us literally out of business.
So when bebop came around, it changed the style, or what was current in jazz.
Exactly. And it wasn't danceable.
Were you surprised to see this resurgence of swing dance and
the
swing
resurgence
music?
had been going on really, you got to credit that to Al Mims, who went over to Sweden and initiated this idea of teaching swing. Because when the war came, I just walked away from it. I didn't, and I think that was a mistake. Because I wasn't getting books and everybody had to do something different. But when the revival started, I wanted to be a part of it.
So now a lot of young people come, I noticed, to watch you dance, to hear you speak.
Oh, yeah.
What do you have that they want?
Because we're the swing era. They can look at us.
You're the originals.
We're the originals. I mean, because we're the last of the originals. Remember, after us, from then on, it's going to be who said what and who said this. But the point is, it still was the greatest era in the world. It was the greatest music in the world. And nothing compares, but because of economics, it wasn't feasible to carry a band. Duke Ellington carried a big band longer than anybody else in the business because.
And there's still bands that play under the name Count Basie Band.
Exactly. So you'll always have that because you never forget Beethoven. You never forget Mozart. I could imagine them turning over their grave when they hear jazz, but that was the way life is. See, we created swing. It was before that everything we had in this country came to this country. The dance, everything. Here was something that was created here in America, and here in America was created a thing called jazz.
Now, you've really had an astonishing career. Do you surprise yourself?
No, because I always had to have a job. My mother used to say, you need a job. And I had to go, who was going to hire me? I had to invent my jobs. I wanted to be a writer. So I remember I wrote my first book on Red Fox, the Encyclopedia of Black Humor. And it turned out disastrous. So I said, well, the next book I'm going to write is about what I know about better than anybody. So I wrote it. The new book coming out is Swing Baby Swing. It's the history of the dance events all around the world I go. And it's documented so you can look back and say, this started where, and then that person who invented it or created it will be talking to you from that book also. That's what I'm doing now. And then how is it the biggest event in the world I can't go to because I'm not invited? The Grammys. I mean, why am I not? Because I never wrote a song. So I went and I wrote a song. And the song we'll be recording with Wynton Marsalis they call him Louis, but he's Pops to me. And we just introduced it in New Orleans this year.
Can you sing a little bit of that?
Well, I'm hoarse, They call him Louis, but he's Pops to me. He had a style and a smile and a horn that reach high sea. He was ambassador of jazz. He was a stone gas. They call him Louis. but he's Pops to me.
So you're a writer, a dancer, songwriter, comedian.
I loved writing songs. I wrote the biggest dance in the Lindy Hop category is the Big Apple. They do the Big Apple around the world. So I wrote a song called The Big Apple so I could present it to New York when we do the Louis Armstrong. Because the Louis Armstrong song will be recorded and all results of it will go to the school. And the one New York will go to we're presenting that to New York because what's the Big Apple? The black musicians named it the Big Apple. So that's what I got. It's the Big Apple. It's the city that swings. They come from all around the world. They come here just to do their thing. East side, west side, uptown and down. It's the Big Apple. It's the city that gets down. And it's all about New York. So those are the songs. I write songs about, I don't know where it comes from, but that's what I do. I like writing songs. And I think I want a Grammy. You can't get a Grammy unless you write a song.
So there you go.
And so I went and wrote a song.
And you're still swinging.
Well, that's what keeps you going. You can keep swinging. But you've got to have a format. You've got to be able to do. I mean, remember, you can't be mediocre. You got to be the best. People come looking and buying. They're not going to buy second best. It's got to be you because you're the best at what you do. And that's what I always try to do. I'm the best jazz choreographer ever. Why? Because I concentrate on jazz. No, I see Mary Michaels and them talk about contemporary jazz and this kind. Sweetie, there's only one kind of jazz, and that's Louis Armstrong. Now, give me 8 bars on that.
The exceptional Norma Miller.
Yeah.
Norma, thanks for the visit today.
Thank you, darling.
Norma Miller comes to Seattle annually as part of the Century Ballroom's Masters Series. For the full audio of this interview and more information, go to KUOW.org and search for Swing Dance. From KUOW 94.9 Seattle, I'm Amanda Wilde.
Swing!